Now to the race for 2016 and to an ABC News exclusive this evening. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker making it official. He's in now, the 15th Republican contender. He's topping the polls in Iowa. And if you don't know his name, you're about to. Over the weekend, I traveled to Wisconsin to sit down with the governor and his family. No questions off limits. His reaction to Donald Trump. Is Jeb Bush a name from the past? And the disagreement with his wife and two sons over one major issue. The Walkers, right here tonight.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeanette.
The Walker family at the governor's mansion in Madison, Wisconsin.
Alex, right? This is the first sit-down interview with the entire family. And I'm curious, how does the family feel about this?
I think we're ready for it. I mean, we can never be ready for this, I guess. But we've had quite a few campaigns in the last 4 years.
Quite a few campaigns because Scott Walker was elected governor, famously fought the unions, survived a recall, and was then reelected.
I didn't just face death threats. There were threats against them. There were protesting in front of our house. Part of it is, as a family, we know we've been tested. We've been tested like I think nobody else out there.
Trial by fire for this couple. Tonette was actually from a Democratic family.
You actually got married on Ronald Reagan's birthday.
We did. Yeah. I don't know if I knew that at the time, but I think he liked that fact because he has yet to forget my anniversary.
In fact, this year he tweeted happy anniversary to his wife. Then a short time later, a tweet marking the anniversary of Reagan's birth. One of his first jobs at this McDonald's in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Maybe he served you a cheeseburger a few years back.
He could have very well.
Inside, his former shift manager, Rita, now runs it all. The grill where he once stood still there, but that second drive-through is new.
Just checking out the old stomps here. I used to work here as a kid.
He tells that young voter he's running for president.
You are the 15th Republican now to fight for this nomination. What do the American voters not know about you that helps seal the deal?
If Republicans are going to take on a name from the past and Hillary Clinton, they need a name from the future.
Is Jeb Bush a name from the past or a name for the future?
Well, Jeb's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. He was a good governor in Florida. But I don't think a name from the past beats a name from the past.
There are a lot of people talking about Donald Trump right now. He's now leading in some polls in the Republican field. Jeb Bush has said that he believes what Trump has said about Mexicans is really meant to inflame and incite. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think Donald Trump and any of the others can speak for themselves. What I'm going to do is lay out what I'm for.
Eventually, though, you could very well be on that debate stage with Trump, and if he said on that stage what he has said about Mexicans, what would you say to him?
I'd say, like I said with other kids, I respectfully disagree with him. I have a policy when it comes to immigration. Mine is simple. Secure the border, enforce the law. I don't believe in amnesty.
You talk about amnesty. You were at one point for a path to citizenship. No longer.
No, and part of it is, and I've laid it out. I've said I'm clearly stating that. I'm not beating around the bush.
What made you change your mind?
Well, a combination of things. I mean, I looked at how this president messed up the immigration system we have today.
And what do you do, Governor, with those 11 million undocumented immigrants? Do you send them home?
No, I think part of the problem that we have is that everybody wants to jump forward to one part of the equation without dealing with things we need to do in the right order.
You made some headlines this year when you were asked how you would deal with ISIS. You said if you could handle 100,000 Wisconsin protesters, those union protesters, that you could handle ISIS. Would you answer differently?
Yeah, although I think the people who were there took it the way I intended, and I would shape it differently. Because I said moments after that, when someone asked me, of course I'm not equating those protesters with ISIS.
So we give you a redo. What would you do?
Well, my point is that nobody, even Secretary of State Clinton, nobody in this race has the experience that a president would need directly. So my point is, as a governor who went through incredible pressure to take on things that were literally, in my case, not just about political pressure, but about personal attacks, about death threats, I believe the next president is going to have the capacity to deal with that kind of pressure.
And while his role model remains Ronald Reagan, he counts on his wife. And they were very honest. They don't always agree. Most recently on the Supreme Court's decision on same-sex marriage.
You called it a grave mistake, and I know that you heard from within the family that not everybody agreed with you on that. And how difficult is that as a family? Because it was your cousin, you described her as a sister to you?
Mm-hmm.
Her cousin married her longtime partner, and one of the governor's sons, a witness at the ceremony.
And so when your husband, the governor, says it was a grave mistake, what do you say?
Well, I was more concerned that I got calls from both the boys of being upset about what Scott had said. And so my advice to them was, don't come to me, go to him. He said it. And so they had the conversation. For me, I reached out to my cousin right away and said, this is the same person that he was last week, that you've known for 20-some years. It took us 2-3 days to talk with family, with Shelley and Kathy, and I think we're back to where we were before.
But you haven't changed your stance.
No. But we love him, and for us, love's going to be the focus of everything we do with our family and our close friends.
Governor Scott Walker and his family sitting down with us. We'll have much more tonight on Nightline.